I'm Sarah Coombs, and ever since I was a little girl, I've loved a good ghost story. But what if the opportunity arose to go on a real-life ghost hunt and see a real spirit? Well, I'll be meeting 3 real-life ghost hunters, Jeff, Vince and Don, who've made it their mission to prove that the supernatural exists.
How we all started, I knew Vince from school, from way back. We've been through school years. And we used to talk about things there at school, and about paranormal things and things that fly in the sky that shouldn't be there. And yeah, over 10 years, but we didn't start using equipment until, I don't know, 6-7 years ago.
That's right.
Then we started logging it. Vince keeps a good log of it. Then we started to learn a bit more about it.
I find that personally, when I've been out on a ghost hunt, not all the time, just occasionally, when I go back home, although we've said the prayer, my wife's often said to me, "You brought something back with you last night." And I said, "No, don't be silly, we say the prayer and this, that and the other." But my dog will play up sometimes for no apparent reason. I mean, I know everybody and dogs and that have off nights, but it's just peculiar the way that
it's peculiar that it's happened on the night you've come back, yeah.
Yeah, and it's usually after a night, not all the time, but just now and then.
What, a Ouija board night?
Not necessarily, no, just an ordinary. If we've had a fairly good night, that night we supposedly got, who on that ghost box? Lucifer.
Yeah.
I think, it can be dangerous. It's the unknown, isn't it? It's something you don't understand. I mean...
But also, and Jeff's seen it, you've seen it and I've seen it, when they're up there doing ghost hunting, half of them are clowning about. They're climbing on things and mobile phones out, so they're not even doing it seriously, aren't they?
Now, the problem with the Ouija board is, as I understand it, the glass is a much safer way of doing it. Some people would disagree. Some people would say you're still trying to contact the spirit world, you're encouraging it to come to you, in the same way as you are with a Ouija board. But the Ouija board is like a barn door, as opposed to your normal front door. The front door with your glass, where it's a little bit safer, you're kind of not letting everything in. You can almost predict what's coming in, although there are things that they call sprites, which are mischievous spirits, which will lead you into believing that you're contacting someone who isn't actually. You might say it's your mum or your dad or a distant relative, and in actual fact it's not. It's a mischievous spirit. But with the Ouija board, it's a much bigger door. There's lots of things can come through that, but you've got to know how to deal with them.
You mentioned that kind of people kind of don't understand about what you're doing. Why do you think that is?
They ridicule us. I've had people say to me, "I've got better things to do with my time than be in the middle of the forest trying to find ghosts." But all of them, sooner or later, relate a story as something that's happened to them, even though they ridicule us. We've had it many a time.
You can quite often ask them a question, well, would you come out with us and go in the churchyard with us tonight, one dark night? No, I'll leave it. You know what I mean? They're not interested, or they can't be bothered, but you put them on the spot and say, just spend a couple of hours out with this one night. No, don't fancy that.
Nestled away in the South Downs, Telscombe village can be traced all the way back to the Domesday Book. And with such an ancient history, it's no wonder that there have been sightings of ghosts. And it's here that we're sending our intrepid group of ghost hunters. But first, I'm going to speak to local man Alan Baker, who has an insight into the secrets that this village holds.
Hello there.
Alan,
Nice to
hello. You too.
Come on in.
Thank you. So Alan, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit more about your connection to Telscombe Village?
Right, well, I've been here since 1984, so we're talking about 37 years. In fact, when I first came, partly because we live slightly outside the village, and we don't often walk through the village, and I think I was probably here about 10 years before I actually spoke to anybody in the village.
So could you tell us a little bit more about the history of Telscombe Village?
Okay, well, it goes back to Middle Ages. I think it was mentioned in the Domesday Book originally, but of course a lot of that history is lost now. Certainly, I think St Lawrence's Church, the main church in the village, or the only church, has quite a history. Well, it's known as a haunted village, but I think that might come from the fact that it is old, and it's got certainly at night it can look a little bit creepy. But I think there were tales of a horse rider, and people have heard horses, invisible horses, coming through the village.
Wow.
So there's that. And there was also there was a noose, a kind of hangman's noose, on the corner as you come into the village. And in fact, the last person hung for sheep stealing, was in the village.
So Alan, tell me, have you ever seen a ghost?
I haven't actually seen ghosts or a ghost in the village. I have seen ghosts actually, although I don't believe in ghosts, but I have seen them.
Thank you, Alan, that was really helpful. Well, it looks as if our ghost hunters have a fair bit to keep them occupied during their investigation. So what temperature am I?
You are around about 30 degrees.
Is that right? Is that average, or is there a ghost near me?
I don't think there's a ghost near you, but you can see the cold aura around you, but you'd expect to see that anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something you kind of have to get used to seeing. And of course you'd be scanning this around the room when you were doing it.
So tell me, have you ever seen a ghost?
I can't say that I have. Whatever a ghost is, I'm not sure. But whether they exist or not, I don't know. But I've seen shadow people, which might be classed as a ghost, or in that line of ghostly figures.
Oh, tell me about shadow people.
Well, to me, they come and go very quickly. A couple of seconds, they're gone. They tend to be, the ones we've seen, tend to be on the short side.
So what do you ultimately hope to achieve from this investigation?
Well, personally, I'd like to see if, like most people that do this, if there is anything on the other side. Life after death, what is it? How do they get to this plane and see if we can, you know, advance ourselves in that science.
Well, Vince and Don, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And yes, so we'll be wishing them the very best of luck for tonight's searching.
Having just arrived at Telscombe village tonight, we'd like to do a little ghost investigation. I will start, well, we always start with an opening prayer, so we're all gathered together. Just a short prayer to bless us and the people of the spirit world. To invite good spirits only, please. We will treat you with the greatest respect, as we will expect you to respect us. May our guardian and technical angels please look down upon us and keep us safe at all times. God bless you all. God bless.
So here we are at a location which is meant to have some sort of activity going on. Do any of you guys feel anything? Do you think there could be the potential for something here?
Personally, on a personal note, no. At the moment, I don't feel as if there's anything untoward in the paranormal sense at the moment.
No, I feel quite at home here, to be honest.
So it feels friendly.
Yeah.
Feels very friendly. So yourself? Are there any spirits here who wish to communicate with us? Please feel free to show yourself in any way you can. Can you knock something over? Can you tap something? Can you just let us know you're here? Would you like to come up to this piece of equipment I'm holding in my hand so I can detect you? Please let me know you're here. Don't be afraid of us. Don't be frightened of us, we're not here to harm you.
Do you still have any relatives living here that are still alive?
I heard that too. What was that?
What was that, sorry?
Was a bit of lightning, like a... Did you hear it?
I thought it sounded like an animal, like a dog.
Yeah.
But it wasn't coming from the box.
No.
Just your opinion about what was out there. So it was interesting because what you were saying about how sometimes the ears and eyes can play tricks on you. I found that a little bit too. That I was kind of jumping at certain things, but I think you heard the same noise that I did.
I did, yeah.
Which was it was a grunt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We quite often get it, don't we?
We often
One or
do.
two's heard it,
Yeah.
but the other ones haven't.
Did you hear that? Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's right.
I usually take 3 or 4 photographs roughly in the same area because sometimes you don't detect something on the other photographs. In this case, I've taken 4 photographs of roughly the same area, and on one photograph there appears to be 3 or 4 orbs. Whether people believe in orbs or not is entirely up to them, but it could be a speck of dust, which some people say that's what's been generated by us in an area, or an orb could be a floating paranormal sort of like a bubble type thing.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've certainly learnt a lot about the supernatural and ghost hunting today. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay alert.